So a question that I see all the time is, what is the best type of carrier? And so I'm going to do a little opinion piece, mostly. I'm going to give a review, an overview of a stretchy wrap. Here I have the Solly wrap, the baby Catan, a ring sling, a pouch sling, a woven wrap, a soft structure carrier, and a Maytie. Um, a commonly asked question is, what's the best carrier for a newborn? Or it's often a new wearer asking this question. And so I'm going to start with what I feel like are the most newborn friendly and move from there, and the most new wearer friendly options. This one is a stretchy wrap. This is a Solly wrap. Also, another common brand is the Moby that you'll see often. It looks like a lot of trouble to do all this wrapping, but really once you do it a couple of times, it's no big deal. Everything has a learning curve, so don't make all of your decisions based on how difficult it looks. The learning curve on this one is it's really pretty low. You have to learn to wrap it tighter at the beginning than you really think is necessary, but just a few times of doing it and you'll have it down. Once you get it to this point, you can really leave this on all day if you want. So you don't have to do that whole procedure every time you want to put baby in. I like a stretchy for a newborn because they are forgiving. They are soft. They are friendly to beginners. And, I don't know, in the newborn period, I really just wanted to wear sweatpants or no pants. And this is like the sweatpants of baby carriers. Let's see. This is not a how-to video, obviously. So you've got your 3 layers of fabric and a stretchy that go over baby at all times. In any carrier, you want them high and tight. Here I've done legs out. You can do legs in, but if you have to, but make sure the weight is on the bum, not the feet. Knees higher than the bum to push their bum down and support that upper back. You want to make sure the chin is off the chest, close enough to kiss, so that you have that nice open airway and you can monitor them. You can slide their head into that for more support. If you want to nurse in this carrier, it's a matter of loosening everything out, lowering baby, and then when they're done, tightening everything back up even if they're sleeping. So these are easy to find. I find them comfortable from birth until about 16 pounds. I have seen plenty of people use them all the way through a year. And if you can do that, more power to you. Most of them are weight tested, safety tested, up to like 30 or 35 pounds, depending on the manufacturer. But that is something to look into. It's just my opinion for them to be best through, about 4 months. I think I used my stretchy a little bit, up to 6 months, but really by then we'd kind of moved on to other things. You'll see it makes this nice big X across the back. Hopefully I didn't get anything twisted, but that gives a lot of back support, keeps things nice and even. There are 2 front carries that you can do with this. You can do this one or the front wrap cross carry with its spread. The front wrap, you have to wrap it every time you do it. And I can't say there's any particular benefit to it versus this one, unless it's just you prefer it. It's not faster, it's not easier, it's not more comfortable. It's fairly similar. Let's see. I think that's about it on this one. So this is one of my favorite options for a newborn. Through about 3 or 4 months. And then to get baby out, and it brings you back to that point. So if you're going out somewhere and you get out of the car, you can fairly quickly pop baby into this thing. Functionally similar for people who don't like all of this wrapping procedure, which I admit that I thought was intimidating at first. I went for the baby katan for myself because all this fabric, I just had no idea what I was going to do with all that. But really, once you do it, probably twice, maybe 3 or 4 times, you really do get it, and it's not a big deal. So I wouldn't make my decision based on that looking intimidating. All of these things have a learning curve, like I said. So the baby katan is another stretchy wrap. It is 2 loops attached by 1 smaller loop. This fit me pretty well when I was 20 pounds heavier postpartum. Let's see. You just throw it on. The drawback of the katan, and it's a pretty significant one, is that you have to purchase the correct size, and you need to err on the size of smaller than you think is reasonable. I'm a size 12, 14, and this is a medium, and it's too big. So I could probably really easily wear a small. And there's really not much that you can do to tighten it up if you buy the wrong size. Fortunately, a lot of people do buy the wrong size, so there's a decent amount of opportunity on the resale boards to trade out. And it is hard to try things on while pregnant and get a really good feel for what the right size for you is going to be. So this one being the wrong size, it's not tight enough. Baby is a little bit lower than I would like for them to be. You want everything to be very snug, way on up here. The tightness, it not only keeps them high, but it supports the curvature of the spine and helps keep that airway open, which of course is tremendously important. It comes with this little sash that you get to turn inside out and be the carry bag, so that's kind of convenient. But this is the 3rd layer of stretchy wrap that is required whenever you're wrapping a stretchy. It goes around, and I kind of like to put it through that loop just to help keep it dragged down, because when that loop rides up, it can become uncomfortable. You may have to tie in back. I tie in front up under the bum. So you'll see that you've also got that big, nice, wide X for support. I would say that the stretchy wrap, the Solly or the Moby, is marginally more comfortable. But if this fits your style better and the wrapping intimidates you, then go for it. I used this for the first 4 months. I reached for it occasionally up to 6 months, but it really wasn't very supportive by then. The manufacturer's booklet says, or when I bought it, said that you could do forward face out. I don't recommend it because it only gives you 2 layers of stretchy fabric. So if you do it as a novelty and consider it a one-handed carry, because with just the 2 layers and you've got the big gaping holes on the side, I don't think it's safe. So if you do it, keep one hand on baby. To nurse in this one, again, you're gonna kind of loosen everything out and lower baby. That's just about the same with any carrier. Some are easier to nurse in than others. Really, for a newborn, nursing in any carrier is going to be a one-handed operation at least. So looking for hands-free, you will be doing exceptionally well if you achieve that. A ring sling, I love a ring sling. I love them for a newborn up through, toddler. I don't reach for it as much with my toddler now. He's 27 pounds and a one-shouldered carry is not great for me, but this is a fairly thin ring sling. If it was thicker and cushier, I might could do it a little bit longer. But for a smaller baby, they're great. For a newborn, you're going to be wanting to do tummy to tummy. A lot of people gravitate towards ring slings because they think that they look so easy. But again, everything has a learning curve. I think that they're easy and quick once you're really used to what you're doing. But it does take some time. Don't mind my doll's arm not cooperating. It does take some time to get used to tightening all of these things. But once you learn it, it is as quick and easy as it looks. So there you are, babies in. For a little baby who has kind of the head flop going on, you can either roll a burp cloth or you can even roll the tail of the ring sling and use that as kind of a pillow against the back of their head. If you don't like how much tail's going on and you don't need it for that purpose, you can wrap it around the rings. I wouldn't be without one because they are so quick to put on, just hopping out of the car and running in somewhere. It's not my number one go-to carrier for just everyday, all the use I get, because I have T-Rex arm. So I can't really do everything that I want to do. I'm trying to cook something and that spice is up on that shelf, that is the limit to my range of motion without kind of messing things up. This arm is free. This arm can do whatever. With an older baby, I usually have them over on my hip so that they can kind of look out and see what's going on. That's good for a baby with some emerging trunk control. They don't have to be quite sitting unassisted, but they have to be on their way to that. So probably about the age that you would put them in a bumbo seat is when you would do a hip carry in a ring sling. Let's see. You will see occasionally people do a back carry in a ring sling. That is a very advanced carry. It is for wearers and babies that are well experienced in it. I did a back carry with a ring sling at a wedding once with my 1-year-old when he'd been on my hip for an hour and we were both hot. So I moved him back there. It's not super comfortable. It's acceptable. It gets the job done. It got the job done that day. I put him on my hip for an hour, on my back for an hour. And I was thankful to have that option, but don't try to push it. Don't put a little baby back there. And don't do it until you have complete mastery of the ring sling. And the only reason it was safe for my son to be sitting back there is he's so used to back carries. I mean, he'll spend a lot of time back there in a woven wrap. He's not a seat popper. And for seat popping babies, you can, which means they straighten their legs and pop the bottom out of that fabric that's up under their bum. You can take that tail and thread it back up between you, and it makes the seat pretty difficult to pop. So there's a ring sling. In my opinion, one of the easier ones to nurse in. For an older baby, you can loosen thusly. For a little baby, which is what my demo doll is supposed to be, you flip them around to do that cradle carry, and now you have a one-handed carry and a handy-dandy cover. You don't want to cover baby's face. You want to be able to see them and monitor the breathing and all that. But that is the functional basics of nursing in a ring sling. And then always when they're done, back to the upright position, even if they're sleeping. Safety first. Let's see, getting them out quick and easy. You just lift that ring and it's all loosened out. I rarely unthread my ring sling.